Hey guys, back in the basement again for another Hink's Collectible show. Guys, we got to talk about it, man. I found some great items this weekend. I went to a couple places. I went to a record show at the VFW um, Union Hall. I went to a place called the Toy Pit as well and found some things. But of course, I went to my old favorite shop and I did get something online from a website called Get On Down. Uh, where they got a lot of the throwback albums, a lot of old classic hip hop and R&B. So was able to find all of it this weekend. But with that being said, I want to show you guys exactly what I got. So let's start off with the action figures and the Funko Pops that I got. So the Funko Pop that I got from one of my local spots is a Funko Pop of Seattle Seahawks uh, NBA Hall of Famer Gary Payton. Right. So this is when he was with the Seattle Seahawks. So I got this to go with my Sean Kemp. So when I went to the toy pit, I was able to get a action figure of the reincarnation of Shaft 2000. I believe that's what it was. With when Samuel L. Jackson played John Shaft. So I got this action figure of that. A couple more action figures that I was able to get at the toy pit was Vega, one of the Street Fighter characters, and as well as Blanka, another Street Fighter character that we able to get. Now I do see where they have the glow in the dark version. I didn't like. I seen that at my local shop. It's probably like $5 cheaper, but I didn't like that version of it. I don't care about that glow in the dark one. So it is what it is. But when I went to the VFW for the record show, I was able to get Curtis Blow. Now, this is the last studio recording album that he made. And of course, on that last studio album is If I Rule the World from the movie Crush Groove, along with some other songs on this album. But that was his last studio album that he recorded, of course. Had to have it in my collection. So shout out to that. But with that being said, I was able to go to order online at a place called Get On Down. Is the website, the name of the site where you can order a lot of albums. So when I ordered my albums from her, they had a couple class albums that I had to get. Now, of course, these are re-releases. These are not the original pressings. I wish I had the original pressings. I did see some of the places with the original pressings, but they wanted like $300 something for these albums. So with that being said, I had to add these two albums to my collections, right? I had to add these two. So the first album, the reissue, remastered, that I had to have is this Scarface Diary. Guys, if you don't know about this, it's a classic album. Classic album. I seen a man die. Mind Playing Tricks on Me 94. The Diary. Hand of the Dead Body. Hands of the Dead Body, featuring Ice Cube. Classic album that I had to add for my collection, man. So right there, this is my third Scarface album that I've purchased and now that I own, and I had to make sure I add this collection. Now the next album that by Scarface, and that is The World Is Yours. Now that's my favorite Scarface album. I have yet to find it for a reasonable price. I'm hoping they reissue it and remaster it so I can get that. because if that's coming out, boy, I'm gonna make sure I have it added on my list. Another reissue and remaster album that I had to make sure I got was this Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped. You see it? Now, this is a classic Ghetto's Boy album. You know, this album right here has a lot of classic songs on it. One is the Chucky song, of course, with Bushwick Bill. Mind Playing Tricks on Me, one of the biggest songs ever. Another one is Gotta Let Your Nuts Hang. I Ain't With Being Broke. On Another Level. This album, I remember they took this album cover when Bushwick Bill was in the hospital. Now, if you ever heard that Bushwick solo album, he talks about on that Ever So Clear song, how he went to the hospital and his girlfriend shot him in the eye. And how he had to say he said in the thing, we took a picture of the album for the album cover. He didn't know he was going to survive, and they already had a album ready to release. They just didn't have an album cover, so they took this picture while he was at the hospital because they didn't know if he was going to make it. You know what I'm saying? So they took this picture of the album cover. That's why it looks like this. Now, of course, he made it, but you just didn't know. So in order to have a picture of the album cover, you had to make sure you had a picture with all three of the guys in there. So I had to make sure an opportunity to get this album re-released, I had to make sure I had to add this to my collection. So guys, that's the albums that I was able to find and I was able to get. And definitely looking forward to playing both of those albums. Like I said, they both got great songs on there that I love to listen to on a regular basis. And for those who don't know, like I said, man, Mind Playing Tricks on Me, was a classic. That is a classic. So looking forward to making that my album of the week so y'all can see it and I can display it to you guys. With that being said, I appreciate every last one of you guys being here. Hopefully you continue to enjoy the content that I put out. I'm going to continue to put out great content, put out sharing different stuff, the backstories on why I got this album, like doing my action figure and Funko Pop of the week, as well as my album of the week, and talking about it, shooting a video and uploading it to my social medias. With that being said, I will catch you beautiful people on the next one. Right on.